Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to the channel, bro. It's Sorbo Hoops, and we about to be talking about some hoops today, man. Before we get into the video, I just want to invite y'all to like the video, bro. Before we, you feel what I'm saying? Like the video, bro. I know you see the price tag there, the name, bro. You feel me? There is none because this shit is free. You feel me? You get a lifetime free subscription to the shits. You feel me? Unless YouTube starts doing some wild shit, I don't know. But anyway, though, without wasting too much of your time, man, yeah, like the video, subscribe, you feel me? Leave your comments and opinions down below on how you feel in the video. And yeah, man, let's get straight to it.
To be horrified, as in Halloween Michael Myers horrified by what he's seeing from this guy.
Right.
Because this guy plays completely out of control, and he is now the Los Angeles Lakers point guard.
Right.
Alright, so boom, we're gonna talk about this Russell Westbrook situation. It's only been 2 preseason games, and it seems like his haters is already coming out the shadows on his dick already. Now, I understand that with this Lakers team, it is probably the best team Westbrook has been on in his entire career. But I feel like with the narratives we're already seeing in the media, with the 2 losses and his performances in those games, we're already seeing how this narrative for the regular season is about to go with this Lakers team if he remains healthy. If they lose, it's going to be Westbrook's fault. And if they win, it's most likely going to be credited to LeBron and AD. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and excuse the fact that Westbrook turned the ball over in the preseason 15 times in 2 games. That is being careless with the ball, and he really does have to iron that out throughout the regular season, no cap. Especially now that he has more help and more talent on this team. He can't just be over here turning the ball over as much as he used to, feel me? His rate is going to decrease on this team, and there is going to be other players looking for ball handling opportunities on this team. So yeah, he can't just be leaving games with 8 to 10 turnovers, averaging like 5-6 turnovers, because you're not being asked to do as much as you were on previous teams. But despite that, I feel like people do forget that Westbrook is one of the best passers in the league, playing alongside one of the best passers in the league as well. And on top of that, it's like the 2 teams that they have already faced in the preseason are 2 teams that already have established chemistry, being that the Warriors and the Suns have players that most of their roster have stuck together since the previous season. So, I mean, for people to expect the Lakers to easily be able to beat those teams or not see some chemistry issues in the way they're playing as opposed to those teams, Westbrook has to get used to the new teammates he's playing with, feel me? Like, he has to get used to dudes being in certain spots. Even things outside of just Westbrook where the teammates have to get an understanding of each other. Where does this player feel comfortable catching the ball from? Where does this player feel comfortable catching his defender off the ball and cutting to the basket or getting open for a 3? Where does he feel comfortable going in an ISO situation and taking his defender off the dribble? The switching ability, like there were times where in the defensive rotations where they were simply, you know, all of them had struggles knowing when to switch when it came to screens or when it came to the opposing team running off the ball plays. Even players outside of just Westbrook, you feel me, AD had to get kind of used to his teammates, you feel me? LeBron in the first preseason game had some rust he had to get off. Like, dudes have to get used to playing with each other. These dudes aren't robots. Chemistry got to be developed, and people are expecting him to already fit in seamlessly into a system that has completely changed from the previous season because they have acquired him and like 12 other new players to the roster. I just feel like it's a corny trend to always blame Westbrook for whenever he doesn't make a team as great as the fans expect him to be. Because it's like half the time, like, yes, of course, Westbrook does have some bad performances, whether it's his inefficiency or the amount of turnovers he gets in a game, forcing up an unnecessary shot, or even when he over dribbles in a possession. I understand it. Feel me? But at the same time, it's like, even for his great performances, it's like it gets like buried sometimes, because it's like sometimes it doesn't result in always winning or taking his team to the finals or deep in the playoffs, whatever the fuck. And then his haters will just call it stat padding, and it's like, yo, what? He's a star and he's gonna deserve some criticism at times, but
really, nigga?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I do feel like fans who often use this term to describe Westbrook, although at times I do feel like it can be true to prove certain cases, are really just regular beings who don't understand what it takes to even put up such good stats like that in an NBA setting. Like, Westbrook is really a generational talent, and I really feel like it isn't until he retires that most fans aren't really gonna understand what he contributes to the game all around from the point guard position. As much as people want to view him as a stat padder, if most athletes in the NBA could put up those stats, they would. Like, it's kind of dumb to assume that just because a player has the potential to do it, that it's just easy to do. That's really that on that, because that's a topic for like a whole nother thing, you feel me? We got to look at the roster as a whole and what they can improve on and their weaknesses. Now, being that they picked up Westbrook, when we look at the totality of the roster, yes, of course, they have LeBron and AD. And in my personal opinion, I do still think this team is a one-way ticket to the West, in my humble opinion. With the Nuggets and Clippers being injured the way they are and no other team making significant improvements to their roster, I don't see any team in the West really fucking with them. That's just my opinion. If they remain healthy, though, of course. Now, the weaknesses on this team, obviously, we know they picked up a couple of more ball handlers in Kendrick Nunn, Carmelo Anthony, you know. Occasionally, Anthony Davis can go off the dribble, and Westbrook being their secondary ball handler now that LeBron is getting older. But we do know with the shooting on the team, other than Wayne Ellington and, you know, some other solid shooters they have on this team, they don't really have anyone that is consistent, you know, spot-up shooter type of guy. All of their guys require the ball to be effective. And even with Melo aging, he still is someone who is most useful going off the dribble and being an ISO scorer. Now, in Portland, I do feel like he's improved his off-the-ball game. But I feel like, to be honest, having a LeBron and Westbrook on your team and two players that require the ball in their hand more than any other player in the league. Like, I know people are comparing it to like a Kyrie LeBron situation, or even to like a Dwayne Wade LeBron situation, which is a lot more similar because Dwayne Wade wasn't the best shooter. We got to understand Westbrook, someone who not only looks to score when he has the ball in his hand, but is also someone who can make a play for his teammates the same way LeBron can, you feel me? He needs the ball in his hands to penetrate. So I feel like I said in a previous video, if they can make a focus out of both of those two, getting some movement off the ball. I mean, AD, I feel like it's going to be AD. He's versatile offensively. He's going to do his thing. And I definitely think that this season, he should be probably prioritized as the number one option on this team, but that's for the coach to decide. I do respect the fact that even in the post-game conference, Westbrook took full ownership of the amount of turnovers he got. He didn't look to blame anybody else or the coach's system. It was truly on him, and he did make some stupid mistakes out there. Not going to defend that. But on top of that, we just got to sit up here and look at the team as a whole when it comes to their losses this season, because I already see the narrative that this media is going in when it comes to that. We also got to remember that even LeBron in his history with big threes came off to the best start, despite how good of the teams he's been on in his career. And also, even Anthony Davis in the post-game conference acknowledged the fact that they're probably going to go through some struggles this season. Mind you, this team is old, man. They're probably going to be going through some injuries this season. I'm not going to be surprised by that. But I feel like the addition of Westbrook and the other role players they added to this team is going to be able to soften how much of a negative impact those injuries might have on their record at the end of the season. They picked up veterans like Rondo, Dwight Howard. They got Kendrick Nunn now. They got Wayne Ellington. They got Trevor Ariza. They have a lot of pieces that can substitute a lot of different positions for their team. And I'm not making this video to defend the fact that Westbrook was a good pickup for the Lakers, because to be honest, it is an awkward fit, because we got to look at the roster as a whole and how it complements their best players' strengths. And like I said in a previous video, I don't see no in the middle between with this how good or bad this team can be. I really feel like this combination of talent could either go really bad or really good. So we're just gonna have to wait and find out. But at the end of the day, we can only get the real answers to all these questions by how this team gels together and how comfortable they are playing together in the regular season. Again, I don't know how good of a fit Westbrook will be on this team, but who knows? But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, you feel me? And it's been Swervo Hoops, talking about some hoops, man. And yeah, man, like, subscribe, and comment down below how good you think the Lakers is finna be this season, how deep y'all think they finna make it in the postseason, what record they could possibly end off the season with. And yeah, man, I'ma holla at y'all. Be easy.